again with Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, where we are now ankle, waist, knee deep, somewhere thereabouts in this trial. Let's proceed!
The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing.
Not sure what you mean by that.
Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
Anyway, so
that was a perfect reaction shot of Byakuya.
Mukuro suffered all those wounds after coming to this school.
If we're sure it's
Mukuro, they could be the very thing that killed her.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
Just to be clear, the handbook we found earlier of Junko's did actually say Junko on it, right? So it's not as though Junko and Mukuro were swapped places or anything. The other handbook showed Junko's name when I started it up. Like, it's not as though we never actually had we had their faces backwards the whole time or whatever. Clearly, like, the person who's dead is actually Junko because their handbook said Junko on it. I'm pretty sure. So we're saying that Junko is the body and Mukuro didn't die, I think.
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
Ultimately. Mukuro's fatal injury has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Yeah, that looks a lot more like consistent with all the spears going through Junko.
But if that's what killed her, then does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
Also, they say Junko and Mukuro were 5'7"? God damn, 97 pounds at 5'7"? How is that? Can you live at that weight? It's like barely accounts for the weight of your bones. Doesn't seem good for you anyway.
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night?
That was
Makoto,
last night?
You said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant. If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her. So who was it that attacked you?
It's indeed the one who attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. Sorry. I should have thought of this before the timer was on, huh? Well, Mukuro may be the mastermind, because we're saying the mastermind is one of the students. They either want me to say Mukuro or the mastermind anyway. I think I want to say Mukuro. I think it's got to be Mukuro. If Mukuro had been dead for several days at least, it's hard to imagine she was your assailant. Not that I even need to ask, but did you happen to have any evidence that would prove otherwise? Well, I don't know. I better think about this again. Alright, sorry. The mastermind? Unless they want me to say headmaster. But he didn't take a step, as we were told. I got it! Okay.
The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me, but I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question.
Please.
Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least, that's what I think.
I think that too. But you're about to say, and then Makoto stabbed her.
Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way Mukuro was the one that attacked me, even if I didn't see their face. If you compare what we know about Mukuro to the masked attacker, it should be obvious. There's no tattoo? Is that what you're gonna say? Because you clearly saw their hand? Just give me a minute.
You never saw their face,
Oh, let's hear what they're saying.
right?
Or am I
So
supposed to
you
say because
can't have
their wounds are
any
old?
idea who was under that mask? I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
I'm totally doubtful, man.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it.
Well, that sounds like the
her.
hand.
Oh? And what is this other part?
Toko? Don't.
Is it the right hand? Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot?
I can't remember which hand it's on, but I'm sure I'll check it in a minute.
Or could it be the hips?
I bet that was Toko who said, "The hips! Whoever attacked me, they didn't have something Mukuro definitely had." This is just based on Makoto's memory of it, though, right? Which we already were saying was hazy. So Mukuro Ikusaba's profile is the one that says that she had the tattoo, right? Mukuro's fatal injury. Or what should I say? Well, the hand. Wait, sorry. Wait, hold on. What? That should be proven out. The one who attacked me wasn't Mukuro.
You never saw their face, right?
Fatal injury, profile, and it doesn't mention the tattoo here, though, right? Nor does it here. Nor would you have been able to see any of this stuff with just her hands visible. What the hell am I supposed to put?
I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong.
We're trying to say the hands, right? The tattoo? What else could she mean by there's another part of the attacker?
And what
I
is
guess
this
put her
other
profile?
part?
I don't remember which hand
Is
it was on.
the
I
right
think the right hand.
Or the left hand?
Oh, hang on. So they were lying down with their hands like this, and we came at them from their left? No, it was their right side. I think it's their right hand, so I guess I'll try
Maybe the right
shooting the
foot.
profile at right hand? It wasn't that. I'll try left hand now. Oh, sorry, I skipped what Kuma said. We're saying the tattoo, though, right?
It won't, Makoto. Words can cut as deep as any blade, you know. You interrupted me while I was talking. 1 point deduction.
Maybe they want me to memorize here?
Maybe the right foot.
Neither of those, okay. Am I supposed to absorb Mukuro Ikasaba and put it on right hand? Or no, it would be, sorry, that's not right. It would be right hand on Mukuro Ikasaba. It wasn't the hips, anyway. Like this? Okay, there we go.
No, that's wrong.
That makes a little sense to phrase it that way. Because the profile doesn't specifically mention the
On
tattoo.
her right hand, if I remember correctly.
That's silly, but I see where they were coming from.
A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo.
So, but why is anyone taking Makoto's word for this?
So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her.
No, you gave up on that fast. Why didn't you just say prove it?
But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah, we were in the gym tearing you apart, so it could have been any of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure. It
Take
couldn't
that,
have been
Mokuma.
any of you, but what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her.
No, because she's got hideous scars, so-called, on her hands.
Uh-oh, no snappy comeback? Did I score a bullseye?
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that
Is
proves
she gonna
beyond
make
a
me
shadow
say?
of a doubt it wasn't me.
Before anyone could say anything, she took off her gloves. Kyoko's removing her gloves. Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burned
Awful,
skin.
isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
She doesn't, but
If it means,
if it
we get
means she
another
doesn't
step
die.
closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on. I think they look hot, Kyoko.
My scars should suffice
Actually, maybe
as
that's
proof.
kind of distasteful considering it sounds like she got burned. They look cool, I mean.
Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear.
So, why? And it's fine. It's fine. I want to preface this by saying it's fine. But if we were going to just say Makoto remembers the person didn't have scars or a tattoo on their hands, then why were Kyoko, Mukuro, or Makoto ever suspects? Well, we're talking about who attacked him in his room. I guess it's a little different.
There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
This is just awful. On top of my
course it
secret
is.
being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours.
Hey, easy.
Sorry. sorry. Did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
I'm sure you do.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, they look really cool.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet.
Oh, the music isn't nearly loud enough for that.
Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
Nope, I'm pretty sure he said they were all alive
In that regard,
at the beginning.
you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Then somehow she
What
was
we need
killed
right
in
now is a
secret
flashback
without
to
any
show
of
us how
knowing.
Junko died, in case any of us forgot.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right?
You know what we need here? A second flashback to Junko's method of death.
Culprit stash her somewhere?
I think the player might have forgotten how she got murdered by like 20 spears.
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Time to ring up the biolab.
She was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored.
I got it!
The pool in the kitchen.
I got
His
it!
body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
You were there. Or
That's
did you
right.
instantly? Well, you
It's
didn't instantly
actually set up for
jelify.
use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body.
You had to open the
and it'd
thing
keep the
first.
body preserved at the same time.
So you would have already
And you're
noticed it was a
also
morgue probably at
saying
that
the body
point.
was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
We're gonna say the tarp.
The proof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. I got it!
What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is
It's helpfully
the
labeled tarp.
that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Well, without Kyoko there, one of us had to.
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came
Moving
from the
along.
biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the code on it afterwards.
Wow. You made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
That's just a wild guess. Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
Are you talking about unmasking the mastermind?
She is.
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
There were 7 corpses. Sorry, 7 people still alive.
Any consistency in the biolab? Could you be talking about...
La, I can't hear you. La 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you be talking about...
By the way, Makoto, what about that
Am I about to
one
bullet
thing?
time Monokuma?
What one thing?
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
I did a little. I think it's just because Mukuro and Makoto bear a slight resemblance, but I kept thinking that Makoto's sister looks a bit like Mukuro, which would be a really, really funny and silly twist.
So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Are you trying to say if I expose you, you're going to kill them? What kind of threat is this?
Why are are you bringing that up now?
Your mom, your dad, your little sister.
Just trying to distract you.
What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. So if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it.
Okay, so it's the lights, but in a bullet time battle. Oh, I'm just gonna do so good at this bullet time battle. Oh no, we're going straight to... Oh, okay, okay.
Are you sure about this?
Bang, bang,
Are you sure about this?
oh my god, there are so many that could be very, 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 very bad. This could be bad if I stop panicking and win. I mean, don't stop panicking and then lose. That won't happen though, because it will be fine and I will be fine because this is the thing that I am very good at, which is rhythm games, and I'm always good at those, so no one panic ever because it's going to be fine when we target stuff and shoot it, and then I just mash. Oh, okay, good. Final strike. Okay, biolab lights.
This should prove it.
What was biolab's secret? What even bullet was that?
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking
Why
about
rhythm
is
games?
the lights.
What are you talking about?
At least now I know I have to go fast.
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
Put a rhythm game in my game. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And it was set up so that when a
Stupid
slot had a
rhythm
body
games.
in it, a blue light would turn on.
I got hit by
In other
one
words,
in there,
if the
didn't I?
blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in, and there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
16 minus 9, Yasuhiro. Oh, right, we already established you can't do that. Sorry.
9 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights that should be on is 10 lights.
I made fun of him for not being able to count it, and then I was like, wait a minute.
Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
Well, Toko, it's your catchphrase. This is very suspicious.
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery. Sayaka died first. And Junko was... Sorry, guys, I felt like we need to show once more just the reminder that Junko died by getting stabbed by a lot of spears. Okay, sorry, moving on. Junko was second. Leon was third. Chihiro was fourth. Mondo was fifth. Taka was sixth, and Hifumi was seventh. Celeste was eighth. Sakura was ninth. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
In a sense, Junko's.
May very well be that none of them disappeared.
Only 9 people are actually dead.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths. But there were only 9 bodies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
The reason there are less bodies than murders. The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would it take for that to make sense? Only 9 murders took place?
I think is the best way to phrase it. The same person was killed twice is a way to phrase it, but...
Only 9 murders took place. There weren't actually 10 murders, but 9. That's why there aren't 9 bodies.
That's patently untrue. Counting Monokuma's executions, there have indeed been 10 murders. I think we can all agree on that. Actually, you're completely right. So, same person was killed twice? I got it! Okay, right, that's the same thing, right?
The same person was killed twice.
What that means is there were 9 murders. But fine. I see what you think you are saying.
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far, but one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
No, their body was dragged out to make it look like there was another murder. There were 9 murders. But...
Murdered and murdered
You do you.
again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
No, that's patently not what words mean. But okay.
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
I can indeed.
It was Mukuro, of course.
No, Junko.
Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
So they are saying that they just face swapped and the handbook lied?
Nothing's gonna become obvious. Because Kyoko's totally delusional.
Righty. How do I say Junko, though? I guess they want me to do... She said look at the injury, so I guess I'm supposed to look at Mukuro's fatal injury.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed at?
Junko Ishima, or
Was it
Enoshima.
Sayaka Maizono? Junko
Oh,
Enoshima?
yes, that.
Leon
Come back!
Celestial, or maybe... No,
Do
but
whatever.
there's no way anyone was murdered.
Sorry. I was too
is
slow.
this? Was it Junko Enoshima?
Kablang! The what? You wound me, Makoto! Words can cut as deep as any blade, you know! You interrupted me while I was talking! 1 point deduction. It wasn't Junko? Oh, no, sorry, am I supposed to absorb the name? Oh, okay, sorry. No, that's wrong!
No, that's
I thought I was supposed to put the injuries on Junko because that's how she died. Whatever.
Junko, wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
Let's flash back to it!
What do you mean?
They're actually going to...
Well,
She was killed by
remember what
spears! I don't
happened
know, someone else might have forgotten this.
to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those 2 bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears.
I'm not losing my mind, right? We did turn on the e-handbook and it said Junko Enoshima on it. Hers?
Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
So they're not saying Mukuro was wearing Junko's face, like with sci-fi technology, right? They're saying Mukuro's still alive. This was just used. They just used Junko's body. I'm pretty sure. Which is weird though, because Junko was definitely not wearing fake nails. At least I'm fairly confident. But anyway.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
It's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait.
Well, there were
so
16
then-
people.
Yeah. What does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9.
Kind of like Makoto said earlier when we all made fun of him.
Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is
Okay,
still
they're
alive.
just roundabouting to it in a really
And
weird
that's
way.
the true identity of the mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So No, Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be.
I think that makes sense.
Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Is Monokuma then going to say, well, there's nothing that ties Mukuro to Junko. They have no similarities. And we're going to be like, well, except for all of the everything.
Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro, but can we really believe that?
I mean, I do. But let's hear it. What we're saying here. Oh, maybe I want to do Mukuro's profile here.
Found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
Or are we supposed to bring up the
That's
tattoo?
She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
Let's calm down, Toko.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
I can shoot.
Mukuro's still alive? Can I really believe that?
Why would we not be able to? What's wrong with this being Junko's body? This is the first time where I have no idea what's going on, like, whatsoever. Oh, am I supposed to say Kyoko has confirmed that the corpse matches these characteristics? Because canonically, Makoto does not have the information. This is so good. I don't know why they would give me this information, because it confuses the shit out of me. I think that it is easy to know that they had the same height and weight. But because Makoto doesn't know that, I'm supposed to say Kyoko has confirmed that the corpse matches these characteristics, so we should assume it is Mukuro. I hit auto by mistake.
The body we found in the garden.
On which point do I put that?
Wasn't Mukuro.
Wasn't Mukuro Mastermind's true identity? Okay, so I wasn't Mukuro, I guess?
It wasn't Mukuro.
Please work. No, that's wrong! Okay, good. that one mostly tripped me up because I keep forgetting that the report card is non-canon.
No, the body we found
Don't
in the
auto.
garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32.
Professor Kyoko? Professor Kirigiri, please, if you could return your attention to the profile that is not what it says here. Do you need reading glasses or something?
Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
We would say Junko.
Someone's made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be.
Yawn. Just give me a second to scroll over to their face. I'm gonna run out of time.
Here's my answer.
Here's my answer!
Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive,
Here's another
the
picture.
death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Check the pulse and everything.
Now that you mention it,
I gently placed my hand on Junko. I don't know, I still don't get why he felt the need to check her pulse, but not Hifumi's. I mean, I guess because this was the first step he was seeing.
I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I did check, absolutely. And I can say for sure.
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
He seems pleased all of a sudden.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Me? No.
Huh?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
So I'm confused. Why are we saying that? So we're just saying the body has to be Mukuro's because the characteristics look kind of similar. even though we can't read them, apparently. And no one else has worked out that Junko's weight and stuff was the same.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
As in, rather than try and figure out why two people are dead, we pull an Ace Attorney and just assume that one of them is alive and figure out how that's possible.
Let's assume Junko is still alive.
Right.
If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked her. She was dead, I'm sure of it. But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but somewhere else entirely. Maybe she used some sort of trick.
Some sort of trick? Makeup? Is that what we want to say? Because she was the ultimate fashionista? M-A-K... Oh... Blank blank P blank blank C blank blank?
What?
Better get the journal out. There's a lot of P going on. Where's my... This, okay, sorry. C, R-A-N-P Ranpa, E, D, E, D, I-N-A C, G, R, S, F, there's an S, shape-shifting, no, I'm not gonna get this. With like copycat doppelganger. Oh, copycat? Is that what we're trying to? No, that doesn't fit, does it? C-O-P-Y-C. No, it doesn't. Well, there's no point. Oh, I can't pause it. Oh, I can. I mean, it doesn't matter if I win or lose, right? It's just going to give me a rank, which doesn't matter at the end of the game. Just give me a second here. Oh, replacement? No, replaced? R-E-P-L-A-C-E-D. It is a word that fits. It's like the only word I can think of that fits. Yep, that's it. Okay. Actually, I probably didn't need to pause there. Repull. I might be too late even still. That's a really weird way to phrase it, but okay.
Now I understand.
How long was I paused, Admiral? Would I have run out of time? I think I wouldn't have. I was only paused for like 20 seconds.
That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switch places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
What do you mean she got someone? She like cartwheeled out of the way and judo through Mukuro? Was using stealth camo?
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Because her handbook showed up.
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
That's what it sounds like they're suggesting.
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched.
A good point, Motoko.
So maybe
Ninjas.
the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how they explain how they could have switched. They switched at the beginning, they switched at the moment of death, they switched after death.
I guess after... I mean, it's either the beginning or after death. Like, I think we're... Yeah, probably the beginning is what they want us to say, because, like, it was never Junko we met. Hence why her face is covered in all the photographs.
I got it!
two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
So the handbook was just
Yes,
wrong, I guess is what we're
from
saying.
the moment we first met, if that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met...
Oh, I was about to say, is that why Makoto was all confused about the freckles? Because Mukuro has freckles, but Mukuro does not have freckles. Never mind.
Was actually Mukuro all along?
Then we'd already met her?
I had, like, a normal conversation with her.
When we
I'm
first met,
revolted.
none of us knew who anyone else was.
I mean, Makoto knew a few of you.
So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko.
And hacked her a
We never
handbook.
would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like
Yeah,
that.
a makeup artist, I suppose,
If
could have.
she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They
Oh,
were
I don't
the
remember her
same
wearing those.
fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
I was wrong.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto.
Well, but now that we know about that glaring hole, doesn't it go back to that? We could...
But too bad for you, Monokuma.
Oh,
You
I guess
can't
you're
deny
saying
it
because
anymore.
Monokuma already let it down.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible.
Please don't crash.
I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense.
Why were you
Junko
sweating
is
so
my
much?
secret
How does a robot sweat?
identity.
So many questions.
As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity. When did I do that?
So, Jory, that like one frame before the camera changes, the character changes as well. I think it's another weirdness from going from 30 frames to 60. So he still refuses to admit it, but he can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, and not just once, but twice. The first time was during our latest investigation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The first time was it was during our latest investigation, of course. It was during our latest investigation when well, yeah, the first time. I mean, it was during our latest investigation because it was. Are we saying the photos are all covering her face? Well, yeah, it was in our latest investigation. I got it! Hold on. What matters now is presenting the right evidence. It has to do with what Monokuma tried to keep me from seeing during the investigation. Oh, right. Sorry, the DVD. Okay, yeah. That makes some sense. I like how we said I embarrassed myself in front of everyone in spite of no one hearing that because it was all internal
While
monologue.
I was in the AV
I got it!
room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster.
In fairness, they didn't tell me who we didn't see. They were like... And then we saw everyone, and then Kyoko. So I didn't know that we didn't see Junko. It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD player itself had apparently turned off. I assumed we hadn't seen Mukuro. Which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. I mean, obviously, we don't know who is who at this point. We're saying, but... What the heck just happened? Oopsie, looks like it broke. Out of service. What, it just so happened to break just now? Now then, when doesn't matter. Failure can strike any time, where any time. That's what failure is, right?
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
But Kyoko saw the video, right?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke.
No, it wasn't a fluke. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I've got to reveal that.
The photos here were saying.
Oh, a bullet time? With Monokuma again? But I just did one. Oh, fine.
Rawr. Just grawr. Why are we going so slow? Okay, we're getting faster. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening.
I know.
What are you even talking about?
Sorry, I forgot to say anything, actually. I'm talking about nothing. I forgot that I have to commentate here because I'm playing a video game. Right, sorry, bang, target, and then rhythm games, and then target, bang, and then target, and then reload, and reload. I'm gonna stop doing that now. That's getting really annoying. Okay, sorry, and then we'll just go ham.
Waiting for you.
Oh, I'm doing it bad. Hang on, sorry. Target, shoot. Target, shoot. Target, shoot, please. Thank you. Target, shoot. Target, shoot. Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm final striking here.
That's impossible.
Crew photo.
I tried to protect her identity. This should prove it.
Photo of Kyoko, the headmaster.
Kyoko is
Video
Junko.
wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Uh-oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
Really, most of it, actually. Sakura's jumping like 20 feet in the air, but the unusual circumstance common to all these pictures.
Junko's face is covered. It showed my health and then it was like, oh, sorry, you need to look at the photos first. I forgot.
The unusual circumstance is Junko's face. I got it!
Junko's face.
And on that note, let's call that episode there, shall we? It looks like probably just one more episode of this, I would say, before we're at the end. I don't know, maybe this trial's like crazy long, but...
Hey, we're picking up some speed, ain't we?
Okay, I didn't think they were gonna go the direction of... I assumed they were just saying Mukuro's still alive, Junko genuinely died, and her body was dragged out. The only reason we're saying Junko is still alive and the Junko we thought died was Mukuro is because the body matches Mukuro's height and weight and stuff, which is weird when the handbook that Junko was holding said Junko Enoshima, because that's an easy fix to make, right? If you get to this point in the writing process and you're like, ah shit, I just realized we suggested Mukuro was the one, Junko actually died, because that's what her handbook says, you would just go back and change that to be like, oh, her handbook didn't turn on either, that's weird. Or for some reason her name doesn't show up. Huh, I wonder what that's about. Probably just a bug. So the fact that they deliberately left it there, I mean, no one can miss that. So it's on purpose for some reason. So I assumed Mukuro was the mastermind and Junko actually was dead. But now they're saying Mukuro was masquerading as Junko from the beginning, died, and then the real Junko was still at large. Which is weird, because they were saying none of us knew what Junko actually looked like, but Makoto certainly did, because he looked at all those photographs and everything. So for some reason they're suggesting, rather than just having, if these two really were part of the same group, and needed one of them to take the fall, rather than just having Mukuro be the one to die, or just having Junko be the one to die, Junko, like, swapped Mukuro's eye color and hair color and everything, and got her killed because something. I think what they're trying to say is the mastermind thought that, whether it's Junko or Mukuro at this point, they're trying to say that they whichever one obscured this fact, did it so that when we finally got to this last trial where they would have to intervene, no one would know who they were or something. This level of forward-thinking mastermind shit coming from the same person who forgot to install a camera in the garbage room, but never mind that. That's all for now! The next video on the channel is going to be some more Kingdom Hearts 2, where we're heading into endgame stuff, to go get some secret ending stuff, and it's going to be full of stuff. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's going to be out of here now. Peace! Let's try another one. Here we go. Here's one where you have to hit run and then start mashing space, so it's a little harder because you can't just mash to start. You have to click and then hit space, and also it's space, which is a slightly harder key to move.